Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ESL Pro League. It's week 3, match day number 9, and I'm here joined by Yanko and Sadakist, of course. We're already one day into the week, and this is a new look for you, Sadakist. I'm not sure if I'm sold on it yet.
Yeah, you guys would like the whole dress code looking good. I got out of bed today, so that's a start. And not only did I get out of bed, I took the effort of finally shaving because I was too lazy to maintain the beard, so...
Oh, you did that?
Too lazy to button your shirt,
I thought you could have made that work.
lazy.
Maybe just a little tidy up.
So here's the thing. I grew it out of laziness, and then I was too lazy to trim it, so I shaved it out of laziness. And I'm probably just going to start growing it out again out of laziness.
The only person who can take action to do something out of laziness, of course, here on the desk. Guys, let's recap quickly what we saw last night. We did obviously 4 maps already, and some interesting results there as well. And we kicked off with Virtus.Pro and Penta. We thought it would be an open and shut case, but Penta showed up on Cash, Yanko.
Yeah, especially after that first map where VP had a 14-1 first half, but it wasn't meant to be. In the second game, Penta played better, VP played a bit worse, some questionable decision-making in post-play situations, and Penta was able to take 1 map off of them.
Moved on, of course, to Flipside versus G2. Sadakist, you were jumping on in this one and getting involved. Flipside put up a token resistance, I guess, overall, but the second map for them was a bit of a nightmare. Yeah,
I mean, it was more of a comeback on the first one as well to make the score look more generous than it was. It was 8-7, 7 rounds going to G2 on the terrorist side, and they didn't win a pistol round the entire series, which was the bigger storyline for this. They lost, obviously went 0-4 over the 2 maps. Huge problem, never really got back into it. On Nuke especially, if you lose T-side and CT side pistol, it still kind of plays, although I think it's going to develop. Similar to old score lines on that map, so you're never going to win a map if you lose both pistols on Nuke right now. Yeah, and on the other side of things, it was G2 with a very good T side, like you already pointed out. They catapulted well off the earlier rounds and made something of it. So that was how we wrapped up last night. It was match day number 8, of course, for those keeping track at home. And now, of course, we can have a look at the standings and see where we're sort of at in the season as a result of that. Now, obviously, we're still waiting for this table to solidify a little bit more there as well. A couple teams still yet to really get their games under their belts, I guess. But the glaring example right down the bottom, guys, is Flipside, who has struggled to get even 1 map so far. Yeah, and the round difference as well. -46 is massive. That goes to show you that not only are they struggling to get maps, they're struggling to make good halves, really get rounds on the board, period. So I think for them, they've got a lot to do. They're a legend status team now. And they've been with this roster for a while. I think World Edit needs to come back to form. He's kind of slipped off as of late, and that's someone that I always look to on this roster to step up.
Of course, over the rest of it, do be informed, of course, and reminder that Heroic was Team X. They have made the branding name, going with another player-owned organization. And speaking of another player-owned organization, Astralis are just above them in 9th place. A little bit of a rocky start to the Pro League for them, but we'll see a little bit more from them tonight, although promising signs up the top side there between Nip and FaZe Clan. They're both looking good at 7 and 3. I mean, any surprises for you guys before we jump into today's games as well? Just while we're here, anything standing out to you, I guess, looking at this ladder at this early stage of the season?
I'm a bit surprised by FaZe playing so well from the start, right? Especially because they just made the roster changes. They didn't have any time to practice, and they had solid opponents so far. So that's a bit of a surprise to me. And also G2 placing so low on the table early on, probably the biggest surprise, being as they were the finalists of last season.
Yeah, I kind of echo that with FaZe. I think the good start for them is going to pay off down the line, undoubtedly. But we're already seeing it stabilize. They were 0-6 and way ahead. Nip's now 7-3 with them. Everything's starting to equalize, because I'd say Nip had a shaky start. Virtus.Pro took a map off them. Same thing with Virtus.Pro and Envious. Both teams that we'd consider to be in slumps, they're reasonably high in the charts because just the games played. Everyone's kind of beating everyone here and there. So it's a long season. This European division, there's, I think, about 7 teams that could qualify for the LAN, and that's kind of why I want to, again, touch on the FaZe thing, because they've put a best foot forward early. I'll be interested to see if it's not a honeymoon period, and if other teams catch on to what they're doing, or if they can continue it.
And of course, Virtus.Pro have already won more maps this season than they did in the last, so promising signs as well for the Polish side. There's been a lot of, I guess, speculation on their performance and how that's going to eventuate. So, with that out of the way, let's jump into tonight's maps as well. We're going to have 4 coming your way yet again. We're going to be kicking off here with Fnatic going up against Hellraisers over Cobblestone, then on Cash. And then we'll be moving on to a very interesting matchup. It'll be Astralis back from a weekend at Powerland, back into the boot camp, going up against FaZe on Dust 2, and then on Mirage, which should be a cracker. But gents, let's now have a look first at this first game here. It's Fnatic versus Hellraisers, 2 teams, obviously, that have had their fair share of upheavals. Oscar has departed Hellraisers, and of course, this is very much a new look Fnatic lineup here. But these 2 maps are interesting. Cobble and Cash, 2 maps that both these teams ostensibly have decent performances in the past on.
Yeah, well, Fnatic basically a brand new team, and we could see it from, you know, the maps that they played. They only played Cash and Dust 2 in their 2 matchups pretty much, right? So obviously those are the maps that they practice the most, but Cbble, we haven't seen it yet from them, and I would assume they didn't have time to practice it as much, probably played a couple of times today prior to this game so they could get practice. While we saw from Hellraisers, we saw that this is, you know, a map they're comfortable on, that map they're willing to play. Recently they've had some decent results on it, beating teams like Epsilon in the qualifier for, I think it was DreamHack Bucharest qualifiers. So I think that if there is a small chance for Hellraisers on Cbble, but Fnatic are the clear favorites here.
I would agree with that. The other guy that I want to look at and continue examining in all of this is obviously the big three. You've got Twist, Olaf, and Dennis, but the one I want to highlight is Lekro again. First night with the team, Dust 2, very slow. He was in the B site trying to play off of his teammate. Kind of went, I think, 4 kills in the first half. Played, kind of transitioned throughout that half, played more of a support role. Second night we saw him stepped up considerably, was the hard carry. They lost to NIP, I think it was 16-13, but he dropped over 30 frags. I expect this guy to be a consistent mid-20 fragger on this Fnatic roster. I think he's sort of the unsung hero right now in the Swedish sort of talent pool, if you will. There's a big talent pool, obviously, as we know there. And I look to him to continue to perform.
Of course, Hellraisers there as well. Maybe a name you're not super familiar with is Smike. A guy who's been around for a reasonably long time here, replacing Oscar. Janko, we've actually seen a few maps from him for Hellraisers already. Their performance, generally speaking, has been on the down and down at this stage here. What are your first impressions of this player, or at least from what we've seen from him so far?
Well, we haven't seen a lot, but you can see pretty clearly that there's a gap between him and Oscar, at least when it comes to playing tier 1 teams, right?
Sure.
I even saw there was a video on HLTV about him having a great round against the former Empire team, exactly on Cbble with the AWP on CT side, right? But when it comes to teams like Fnatic, it's much harder to pull off. Even we've seen it in that Dust 2 game they played, where I think it was against G2, when, you know, you miss 1 or 2 shots and that is enough for the other team to, you know, get in your face.
Yeah.
And basically punish you for it, right? Which maybe you can get away with against lower tier teams. So there are times yet to tell. He lacks experience playing at this level as well. So maybe with that he can become a bit better. But right now it's going to be a struggle for Hellraisers.
And I spoke to Lambert actually at the qualifiers for the Cologne major there as well, and it didn't go well for Hellraisers, and they dropped Lambert after that. Sadikis, so, you know, they're losing a lot of their, I guess, their key players or crucial roles in their team, at least recently speaking. I mean, where's the I guess, the light at the end of the tunnel for these guys? Where do you think are their, I guess, their keys to improvement here, especially now they've got the whole Pro League out to play?
I mean, first and foremost, there's a silver lining in all of this. They obviously went through quite a large roster reform twice in the past year. The first time when everyone sort of went over to what was the Cbble, and then Vexed, I think was their name after that. Vexed, who made 2 qualifiers and 2 majors in a row. Now they qualify for the last major again. They've kind of stepped it up, and they're still in the Pro League. So I think in that sense, there's a silver lining, considering how much they've been through and how much inconsistency they've had. But for them in this season, it's about endurance. I don't see them as a qualification team. I don't see them as a team that really could, you know, make it through the land. But they've got to beat the teams that are in similar spots as them. They've got to beat the flip sides. They've got to beat, you know, the mouse sports, perhaps even if Oscar slips up even a little bit and they can't come to terms with the new lineup. They need to be either a spoiler team, but hold on to their placement and play the long game. Kind of build into this roster over time and learn from each game that they play.
It's a fertile ground for improvement for a lot of teams, at least in the online sense, of course, the Pro League. But let's now talk a little bit more about Cbble. Now, Cbble was definitely, by win rate, one of Fnatic's best maps, one of their absolute best, of course. But that dynamic duo that made the CT side for Fnatic so good of Crims and Olafmeister has now been broken up a little bit. How does this, I guess, change it now for Fnatic coming forward? Because I think since they've played in the Pro League, they've only played Dust 2 and Cash, maybe?
Yeah, only
at
those
all.
2 maps, yeah.
So, I mean, we don't have much to go on here, but we know what a kind of map this is. We know that it actually can be quite hard for CT-sided teams to assert themselves against T-side. And Fnatic, what was it about, obviously, the Olafmeister and Crims, or their CT side in general on this map that you think now they'd be lacking or need to return to?
I think more than anything else, CT side comes down to individual skill and having good reads, especially on Cbble, because it's a map which doesn't allow you to go for, you know, aggressive setups that much. You can't really fight for map control on a lot of places. A halls, maybe be a bit more aggressive towards B platform, and the way you decide to hold drop, that's pretty much it. It's not like Cash where you can flash into A main, maybe push B lobby, push into mid, boost up. You have a lot more options, right? So that really limits the City side in their play. So it comes down to really, you know, trying to get a good read, maybe stack B with 4 players and things like that. And when a map is structured like that, there's a lot more emphasis on your individual players. Obviously, Fnatic, probably being the most individually skilled lineup in their prime, was one of the reasons why they were able to get more City rounds than average.
And is that because you don't have as many opportunities to read the opponent, so when the execute does come in, you just have to hold your ground and beat them out on mechanics and individual skill?
Yeah, pretty much. It's always situational, but that's the thing. That old Fnatic team, all 5 players had incredible game sense, so they would be aware what's going on, and they always knew how to react depending on what's their position, where their teammates are. That's what made them such a great team. You would rarely see them slip up or misjudge a situation.
So Fnatic also recently have brought on obviously a new coach here as well. It was Jumpy for Fnatic as well. But we also know that Wenton, as a player without IGL experience, has been wanting to do that. I mean, in your experience, at what point do you get more involved, I guess, if you're in Wenton's position? Or at what point are you able to assert yourself a little bit more, especially now with a new coach coming in? You have a new coach and new IGL. That can be quite a difficult situation to navigate in some cases, I feel.
Well, I think definitely more than anything else, you listen a lot to what input Olofmeister and Dennis and even Twist can give you, because they are more experienced in playing at such a high level. Jumpy in CSGO didn't play as much. In CS 1.6, briefly with MYM, he was at that top level of CS, but certainly an experienced player, and I'm sure that he knows a lot about the game itself. So I think it's a learning process for him to see how things develop, right? How certain situations play out, pre-planned, after-planned, you know, trying to get a good read of how to counter the most common setups and move by his opponents. And after that, considering that he wants to do it, maybe he's one of those natural leader types, so maybe it can be a good thing with just getting the experience and a little bit of knowledge of how things basically work out.
Yeah, and not only that, I think it's a two-way street. If you're Venton right now trying to step into a roster where you're learning to in-game lead, a lot of the best in-game leaders didn't know they could. They did it out of necessity, but he's given tools such as Olof and Dennis. Dennis is going to get you pistol rounds. That's going to make your life easier with economy. And we know Olof can be a tool that's unleashed literally on his own. So he's actually in probably the best position you could be in as someone who wants to learn in-game leading. He just needs to bring a little bit of structure back to a team that lost it in a lot of ways after Pronex. Now, again, different roster here, but you kind of see what I'm saying with the skill. And like you were saying, play off Olof and Dennis. All he needs to do is implement very simplified defaults, let them work, and then just have a secondary execution that they can go back to. Okay, you didn't get the pick at B, let's try a smoke execute on A. They've got the skill on this Fnatic roster that they can play off of that. They don't need, Sean Gare's counter-stratting, smoke flash here, this time I want bomb planted at the 34.4 second mark with a secondary flash. They don't need all of that.
Sure.
It's a very simplified team, and I think he's in a good position.
Basically, you're saying that Fnatic's players don't need waypoints.
Exactly, exactly. They're not freakazoid.
I didn't say that.
So, okay, then, can we then have a look at Hellraisers a little bit more then, okay?
Do we have to, Mitch?
We have
Can we keep talking about Fnatic?
If you want to, we can. I mean, that's the problem though as well. I look back at these guys and, players like Zero and the Oscars and the Stickers of the team as well. And for these guys as well, it's been hard to visualize any sort of headline performances past or even future from them. It's just been a very, very tough few months for them.
Yeah, but there's also, a silver lining, as Matt pointed out, and that's that everyone gets paid in Pro League. So no matter what place you finish.
I guess to clarify the point I was making, if you look back, because I was kind of reflecting on it after I said it, this is the roster that won't die. They had Simple at a point, they had Flamey at a point, they had Angel in there. They've had a very secure core group of guys that have gone on to do other things. Hooch has moved away and off to another roster and started something great elsewhere. In Gambit, obviously. Yeah. And they've had all these players, yet they're still around and still in Pro League. And I think that has to be given some credit. Like I say, they just have to endure as they've done the whole time.
Of course, they have an experienced leader in Angel who was there from 2013, the first team that beat NIP in their legendary run. But and young and upcoming players like Zero, like Stico, and everything. But the problem is, you look at that team, and yes, they are around, but I can't really see how they will make the leap onto being a challenger team to the best teams in the world. You can't see them right now being more than a placeholder team, simply because, for one, the firepower is kind of there, but not really to match up with the best teams. And, you know, there are a lot of mistakes being made in their play, both, you know, individual decision-making, but also some of the things they're doing as a team as well.
And how does the calling work on this team as well? Or what is it? Is it more of a democratic environment, or do you have a Bond villain like Blade, you know, sort of barking orders at the back? How does it work with these guys?
I'm not really sure. As far as I aware, when it was LMBT on the team as well, as a coach, he was doing most of the in-game leading, but I'm guessing that Angel also has a big say, being the oldest member of the team and the most experienced one.
So I definitely,
but they're not like a flip side, I think, where, you know, you see it from their play, basically, that they're not as rigid as Flipside is.
And to the point about staying in Pro League and everyone getting paid as well, that's kind of wrestling. They just need to eke out wins, because if you think about them going into relegation right now, you've got teams like Godsent that are going to, I would suggest, be in the league next year, you know, given another chance and time for that roster to grow. There's lots of guys, MK's up and coming, I think, as well, coming through the Mountain Dew League now that they've gone through Global Challenge. There's teams out there that will happily take that spot away, so they just need to avoid that relegation position.
I mean, the problem is with Hellraisers, maybe similar to what you have with Heroic or teams of that status, who more or less become farming teams at some point. You mentioned Simple was in that team,
Markelov.
Flamey as well, Markelov to an extent. I wanted to make the point that all those players moved on, you know, to better teams, and Simple eventually landed in Navi, same as Flamey. Flamey moved directly from Hellraisers to Navi. So at some point, even if you say maybe Zero becomes a star, he improves a lot. It's really difficult for me to see him staying in Hellraisers rather than being picked up by another team.
It's quite often the thing, isn't it? It's hard to visualize a flowchart of a team improving as a unit without their players sort of being looked at and brought over into other sort of powerhouse teams from that particular region. I mean, and Simple's a great example of this. But there's been an accusation that's been leveled before. I think it was actually at Flipside, maybe more so in hushed tones, and people don't maybe say it outright, but maybe these players are comfortable being in the Pro League and you know, with endorsement money and all that sort of other stuff coming in there as well. People might say they're complacent. People might say that maybe they're just happy where they are now. Is this reasonable to sort of say? And what are the signs, I guess, of a team that is perhaps under that mindset?
I'm going to say just off the start of that, as an owner, yeah, I'm totally complacent. You know, if I'm in the league and, like you say, there's endorsement money, there's all kinds of marketability that goes along with that. I can pick up sponsorship. Hey, that's great. You know, I'd love to win, but just stay in the damn league. For the players, maybe different. They obviously want to be players or competitive, and by nature that means to win. So
I had a feeling, to be honest, like the old Hellraisers team, when while Adren was still in the team and everything, they had maybe 2 or 3 majors where they would just make it through top 8 and secure legend status, and that's basically all you saw from that team. You saw them maybe win an Acer Predator Masters, something of the sorts, maybe end up in a final, but they were never really contenders. They never had a top 4 finish in one of those biggest tournaments in the year. So to me, that team seemed like, as long as we have our legend spots, we're fine with just playing a bit of CS here and there, and then when the major comes, we grind it out again to try and secure the legend spot for the next major, because simply the sticker money and everything, it seemed like maybe players can get a bit complacent, especially players who played CS for a long time, including either Source or 1.6, where there wasn't simply as much money in the scene, right? It wasn't really that beneficial for you to be a full-time CS player, right? So now they're kind of reaping the rewards for all the time they put in before.
So let's talk about cash then as well. When we always use it as a counterpoint example to Cobblestone, in the fact that you actually can forge ahead as a CT side, get some early information, even sort of get early picks there as well. Fnatic, we've seen them play that twice now as well. They actually beat a G2 in a 16-8 performance now as well. And actually I wasn't here for that game. I mean, I do want to know is, you know, we harped a little bit on about these problems that G2 have been having on the CT side as of recently. It's been quite weak. That match there as well, with such a dominant performance for Fnatic, I mean, can you put that down to that same thing? Or is it Fnatic, again, just showing up on this map and I guess showing that it doesn't matter how you play the CT side, they're still going to be comfortable?
I mean, as well, we don't have that many. We only had 2 games, but from what you can see, it's that it seems like Cash will yet again be, you know, one of their trademark maps, pretty much. In that, even in that game, they the G2 actually had an okay CT half. I mean, they had 5 or 6 rounds, which is basically not something you want from Cash, but the problem is they couldn't get anything done on their T side, and that's what the old Fnatic lineup was known for, pretty much, that they would have really amazing CT sides. It doesn't matter which map is in question. You had that, you know, all of Crim's duo and everything, but here it just seems that they're back into that kind of not mindset, but maybe pattern as a team, where they are just really strong in their holds.
Yeah, one of the things that I think that a trait that they'll carry over is their ability to get trades. When they go down a man early, they'll be able to pull that back. Dennis and Olaf are the guys that were very good at that. Twist is flashy. The one thing they don't have, I think, is efficiency in the site. Crim's had an ability, an uncanny ability to stay alive and allow rotations.
Yep.
Someone's got to be that kind of player that buys time for the rotations if they give up map control. That's the first objective, is you have to steal that map from Fnatic, which is the hard thing to do.
So, gentlemen, quickly before we jump in, predictions here. You think it will be a Fnatic win easily enough?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
All right, pretty straightforward there. Fnatic looking good. It's been a new roster for them, but so far results have been looking promising. Let's now pass it over to the desk with Pansy and Natu and get this one started.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I guess echoing the sentiments from the desk there, saying this probably is a very likely Fnatic game, but what are your thoughts for Hellraisers coming into this? They've got to know that they're the underdogs now coming into this map pool. You know, Fnatic's had changes. There's room for them to find maybe a couple of results here, surely.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the sample size of Fnatic is it's so small still. I mean, we've only seen them play a few times.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of skill in there, but you know, they don't have the flashes and Crimses and JWs anymore to fall back on, especially on a map like Cobblestone, where they were actually famous for not having, like, in my opinion at least, they were not that structured. It was a lot about those individuals specifically creating openings, and then they would plow on a bomb site. So let's see how they fare. Cobblestone, we haven't seen Fnatic play it previously. Now, obviously, Hellraisers has taken a massive hit not having Oscar anymore in the lineup because he was the playmaker.
Yeah, and that's a huge loss on this map. That's one very, very solid player to have wherever you want to put him, whether it be, you know, just that solo A player. That's a big deficit. However, it's mostly, let's be very honest here, eyes on Fnatic. What do they bring into this? How do they approach it? What do we get to see? Because we know what Dennis can bring in. Very specific rounds. Let's say the one that's coming up. Let's be very honest about
the pistols, yeah. They are, let's say, Dennis is pretty good with the pistols, but so is Lekro. You have to remember that. I think that was one of the first things that, you know, I really noticed from Lekro is how good he is with the pistols.
Well, everyone's been singing this man's praises, and he certainly has the results to back it up too. Twist, again, another member that you can certainly look at to provide a lot here. However, we are getting into this one. Hellraiser is going to be starting up on the T side. We've got the raid boss in the hands of Zero, so with the Tech 9, the armor. And Twist is going to spot this out, back away from danger, doesn't outstay his welcome, gets the information, falls away, allows Wenton to now come into the play. Gotta be careful though, doesn't want to get outdone, and so far Fnatic not overstaying anything here, falling all the way back to the site, rotating players in. Sticko can still cause some problems here, but Wenton's going to be on to start changing it around, and Dennis doing what Dennis does best. That's two already back to back. This guy brings so much power, and now Sticko a little late to the party pretty much here, pushing his way out from drop, leaving it all in towards him. So 1v2, bomb now down. Is with Dennis and Twist left alive. Going to bait out the sound towards that little, I guess, side room there. Try and get there right. Oh, my word, Sticko, that's a bit of a stunner. All right. That almost just got a little bit dangerous there. Twist does keep it in check, but Fnatic so far getting off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you lose as much real estate as Fnatic did there, you would think that they would actually lose that round, but in the end, it was the individuals there on the bomb site managing to stay or hold the fourth, basically. Still, it did become really close. And it seems like Hellraisers is going to be going on that force buy. Not very surprising. Angels teams do like to do that.
Yeah, true to trend, I guess, is the best way to put it. So, force up, as you said, coming through for them. Tech 9s, a couple of smokes as well, so we could see a bit of a, not necessarily a set piece, but a bit of a play towards the side, not just depending on maybe just barreling in with those Tech 9s. So
Gives
again,
you options.
It does. It keeps them up in the air. And we can see Olaf with that Mag 7 as well. And Lekro, you know, playing with the UMP, a little bit of a previous flusher role that he was rather infamous for sticking onto that UMP, even into those full buy rounds, opting to become the bank of the entire Fnatic side. So
you can tell from the position from Fnatic as well that they are paying a lot of respect for Hellraisers and the potential for the Tech 9s and the Deagles. Keeping their distances. And yeah, you have all of my serve with the Mag 7 here close to the drop, or close to the B long, and then playing passively in drop, playing passively on A. So they're just waiting to get some information here.
you could argue those Deagles can do work against things like the UMP, and you've got SMGs there. And if Twist gets outdone, he could be in trouble, but he's playing it well, staying calm. As you said, Fnatic being incredibly respectful of this. They don't want to give anything up here. They know that maybe Hellraisers do like a forced buy or two, so got to be kind of careful. Twist, though, going to be playing it calm so far, smokes it out so he doesn't get picked up, allow himself to fall back to the site, flashes out, and now he's got support with Wenton. Although Hellraiser's getting good real estate here, they are very much on the precipice of breaking into that side, but Wenton finds zero. Twist only gets one on the trade there, but that's a nice little shutdown. The good rotate coming in from Lekro as well, leaving it again all in the hands of Sticko.
Really nice defensive smoke there between the wall and the car there. Sticko, though, still in a 1-on-3 now that he gets that kill on the Benton, but still, just with a Deagle, he's going to get faced by pretty much all of Fnatic. Goes down. 3 of Fnatic members do survive that round, but again, That was actually a very nice defensive smoke right in front of Dennis here on the left side, between the wall and the car, just to make sure the Hellraisers would have a hard time getting those kills. Then a nice nade, also doing a lot of damage.
And I think this is something that people maybe underestimated when they saw this Fnatic lineup initially was, there are, I guess to people newer to CS, relatively unknown players. You may not know Twist or Lekro or, some of these players to the caliber of, obviously, Olofmeisters, but they're showing so much discipline here as these kind of, not necessarily as top-tier profile players, and it's really paying off in rounds like that.
I mean, it's great to play with people like Dennis and Olofmeister that have won it all. I mean, they're going to teach you so much. They're going to possess so much knowledge and experience on that you can just, get all that information into you. And also Jumpy coming in as a coach, he's very old school, been around for ages as well. Has had a lot of success back in the day, especially 1.6, like Janko was talking about on the desk. So I think there's a lot of good instruments here that they can play with.
Yeah, and now it's just down to Stigo. Have to pretty much go through this round, going through the motions as they force Sport into the second. And it's a very clean start for Fnatic. 3 rounds back-to-back, barely losing players. And just a nice approach to the round so far, not giving up too much. Let's see what they come into this round with. I'm curious to see if Lekro and Olofmeister actually upgrade here.
Well, I mean, Olofmeister are good to get away with the Max 7, but MP7, I mean, that kind of tells you that he has to play up, very aggressively somewhere.
He's got a good spawn,
Is it going to get boosted up, or what's the deal here? My guess is that he would maybe, play either drop or just get boosted up and drop.
It's viable with things like the UMP. I don't know about the MP7. It's something to see. If it works, that's a great deal of money. He's got enough to buy into the next round anyway, but still. You're
not supposed to get more than a 1-for-1 trade, basically. Like, the likelihood of you getting more than that is very low.
Well, we'll find out what he can do, Lekro. Again, Hellraisers, though, taking a very slow, stoic approach to this, just playing throughout the map, seeing if there's any sort of aggression coming through, trying to greet it with just that nice, calm nature that they're displaying so far, taking over long, slowly, getting control in towards middle with Angel. But Fnatic digging themselves in here, and so far we've seen a really nice performance from Twist and Wenton towards A, not over-peaking, not taking those needless fights, not, isolating one another. It takes a great deal of teamwork to work on A together. You need to be in synergy completely. So again, we'll see how this one works out. I think they've got an idea of what might be coming their way. This looks very reminiscent of how Hellraisers like to approach this, that split towards A, Stico constantly being the man lurking around the back, keeping players attentive towards that B site.
The good thing is that Venton still has a Molotov, so he can block off that attack from side hall. As we just see it happen, that's going to leave just Angel coming in alone and is going to get taken out while his teammates are stuck in that side hall due to that Molotov. So a nice placement there, but Stigo's maybe he's doing the connector, gets the kill, so he could be the danger man here.
Yeah, now Hellraisers have to wrap this one in together. They have to play properly in this one. Bonding needs to push up. Smite needs to start applying the pressure. Otherwise, they're going to isolate them, and that's exactly what they've done. Fnatic looking calm under pressure, leaving it all down to Smite. The new man to the roster has to come up with something incredible here, and it's not going to happen. Dennis shuts it down before it began. And Fnatic, there was a little bit of worry there. There was a moment where Sticker and the boys could have pressured that at the right time together, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly. There was the lack of timing, them not being able to attack from multiple angles at the same time to make it uncomfortable for the CTs. And the timing on that Molotov from Benson was 100% correct. And that isolated everyone else from Angel. Angel has to go on lone. He dies, so there's not a lot of possibilities for trade kills there. So that's been just a flawless start so far for Fnatic.
It's good signs all around. Again, this is all just seeing where Fnatic are currently at. I don't think anyone would sit there and go, do you know what, Hellraisers are going to win this. No. What damage can they do? This is very nice. Stico just doesn't care. He's just going to barrel in. Does actually get away with it. Olof's not been spotted out yet, which is kind of unnerving, and you can see why. Beautiful control on the second. Of course, Hellraisers have nothing there to work with, but exactly, just absolute patience.
The experience we were talking about previously, that's, exhibit A on that.
Yeah, that's trigger discipline.
Exactly. He just waits for the right opportunity. Gets 2 free kills here. He sees the first one, Smite there, and then the other one planting the bomb. He kills. Thank you. Come again.
Double AWP coming out. This is interesting. So we've got Olofmeister and Dennis. Something that could be quite interesting down the line for Fnatic. Is this going to be a mainstay that they can fall back to? Lekro again on the SMGs. It seems that Fnatic really do like that approach towards drop. Every single player from their lineup who's played drop has often gone towards that sort of approach. And if it works out, again, it can be useful, but it may be that one and done. However, on the other side, Smike also has the AWP, so we've got to maybe see a bit of a challenge here.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a very slow approach here from Hellraisers, just waiting for any potential aggressiveness. Not too much to be seen, just Olofmeister making his presence known there. Throws the B long. So you can see Twist is actually just holding angle in middle, and Benton is all the way pushed up inside also. They're getting a lot of early information. It's been 45 seconds and not too much been happening so far. And Hellraisers just basically, well, they haven't gained any control of anything yet.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for Hellraisers, even if they're trying to sell this plate all day. They're trying to, you know, Angel's trying to display that, hey, there's more than just me here, I promise you. Fnatic haven't been particularly going for those early challenges. They haven't been losing out on those initial trades. They've been falling back towards site. We went in and twist if they feel pressure playing off the back of each other. The push towards drop could be a bit of an issue, bearing in mind Lekro's the one there. If they actually make this play happen, Lekro could be under severe pressure. We're going to see that build right about now. A lot of pop flashes to come in. Goes through the molly as well. He's going to try and take the fight, and he wins it. That's big. Already doing great deals of damage towards Zero. He has dominated drop. Now he's got the support. Now you can see instantly the attention turns towards platform. Where's that pressure coming in towards? And Dennis is ready.
There's no grenades anymore left, but Angel does get a pick. So it is a 4-4 situation, but Dennis is positioning right now. As Wolf gets 2 nice kills. It's still unknown. I don't think they know that he's in chicken coop right now. Stico is going to commit to the bomb site. His mate is still on that plat, but as that is being said, Zero goes down with a nade, so it's Tico in a 1-on-3.
Oh, 10 seconds, not going to happen. Dennis is there, and Fnatic looks so comfortable. They didn't look pressured by that. That's one thing, you know, that B split can be pretty hard to deal with. You know, players coming in through drop, players like platform, you're smoked off.
Yeah.
They didn't look flustered at all.
No, yeah, it kind of seemed weird that what happened with the guys playing B long from Hellraisers when that attack, when that attack happened on drop. Not really sure what happened there, but it kind of got stopped by Lekros. Just while he played. Interestingly, just running through the Molotov, but that MP7 gets the kill, steals the AK, so that was profit for sure of him. Now Twist with a very aggressive angle, but decides to just fall back as that smoke comes in from Hellraisers.
Yep, Hellraisers, again, able to buy up here, 6-0 so far. They're able to do so. They've got a little bit to play with in the form of utility, but as you highlighted in that previous round, they didn't have much once it was time to actually hit the site. They'd run out of everything. There was no way to clear Coop without having to face it and such and so on. So again, a little bit of an issue here or there for them, and Fnatic still looking quite calm in this. Twist has fallen back, though. He's going to be playing a little bit further back by the balcony. Just watching for that push up on long. Wenton gonna have to come and support him somehow. Create another crossfire. He could play from anywhere he wants. He just needs to watch that mid push up pretty much. And that's exactly what he can do. He can be a little bit brazen on that as well. He can hold that sort of open angle because he knows that Twist has him from long. So again, it works out well. But Hellraisers haven't committed. They're running that clock down pretty far.
Yeah, they're right now, it seems, judging from how the bomb is situated, that they might be going for an A split through drop. Maybe throwing some smokes into B to make it seem like a B hit and then just going through drop into connector. Splitting that A bomb site, but Lekro again is going to be quite ready, and then Twist also in connector, so this might get tricky for Hellraisers here.
Now, this could work out though with Twist pulling himself over. It means the drop was, oh, okay. All right, you know what, it was looking like maybe something had happened, but you know, Mag 7s, SMGs, it doesn't matter. Wenton's in a bit of a predicament though. He got isolated, he was all on his own. No one there was to support him because as we saw, Twist pulled over towards drop. So now, Hellraisers could have done something, but they don't have the bomb.
Exactly.
The bomb is over by drop.
Yes, that's where it all went wrong. That bomb was in the wrong spot. That's for sure. Now, Angel, all he can do is trying to save, but yeah, that was the Mag 7 just nullifying that split from the get-go. Not happening.
Yeah, Lekro's been unorthodox, but it works.
Oh yeah, it definitely has been, yeah. MP7s, Mags, yeah, probably shouldn't even touch an M4 at this point.
No, he's fine. And the thing is, his money's great. That's the problem. Every sort of killer comes in with these shotguns and these SMGs. He not necessarily becomes the bank at the moment because he hasn't done that much with the SMGs in comparison, but he's going back in on the UMP. This sort of play works. He can kind of just support the rest of his side if they need a drop, if they need to play it in. And Hellraisers need to talk this through. How do you approach it?
Yeah, it feels to me like the final punch from their attacks is missing completely. As they're going in, it feels like if they do a split, then if one part of the split falls down, the other one doesn't even commit 100%. So then what are you going to do in a 2-on-5 situation, 2-on-4 situation anymore? And they're not really managing all too much when they're taking over this side hall that they've also put a lot of presence to in a bunch of these rounds. Sort of playing the default where you have 2 B halls and then 3 just trying to gain some real estate towards that A bomb site. But they're not even doing a lot of challenges here. Instead, now it's a save round. Just going down one by one.
And for Hellraisers, how do you approach that? You know, how do you change up fundamentals like that mid game? Is it just the fact that in-game leaders need to be kind of, I guess, pulling the reins a little tighter, just keeping them in line? You know, when you do go for these site hits, save some utility back, get the timing right. Does it need someone to crack the whip a little bit there?
No,
or?
it is basically so that that B-split being a great example is that if we're gonna go, if your teammates die, you gotta go. I mean, best case scenario, you can create a 3-on-3. I mean, you can kill 2 people on B, and then you'll have an open bomb site, and it's still doable. But if you just kind of stop at your tracks, you don't do anything, then yeah, you've lost it because you don't have any utility to work with anymore. You don't have a lot of cover to play with. and you're going to have CTs all over the map. So definitely commitment to what you're doing has to be 110% at all times.
All right, let's see if they can maybe pull this one back together. They had that round before. You saw one of them in spawn, maybe talking things through, just, you know, refocusing everyone up. You're 8-0 down. You might as well start trying things here at this point. You got to get a couple on the board. However, up against them, the double AWP. Never easy to play against. Smite getting flashed out, allowing Dennis now to have the angle. Twist now pushing up on long as well, feeling confident. Missing a sitter. You've got to hit those twists. Let's be very honest. That was something you'd expect him to do well on. The first time we've seen him take more of an aggressive peek, and he gets punished for it.
Exactly, and this is the opening that Hellraisers really needed too. Well, they know there's going to be a gap somewhere on this map, and that gap right now is going to be that A bomb site with only Venton playing it. And he's passively just spotting it all the way from CT spawn. But as we can see, the bomb is actually towards that B bomb site, and that's where most of Fnatic is. They're taking a gamble here, Fnatic, and they're just stacking B.
Still a bit of a gamble.
Working out.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's a bit of a gamble in the fact that olofmeister pushed up towards that spot, and there's still mollies in the hands of Hellraisers, but you could see him wanting to find a reply to losing that first pick. He wanted to get aggressive somewhere else, regain something on the map. And as you said, though, they're going still towards the vast majority of those Fnatic players. olofmeister hasn't backed away. He's seeing this set piece come down, but he's not seeing anyone push. So he's still a little hesitant, but they've lost drop control. So he needs to be careful as to where he plays this. He's pulling up to the smoke. Smike is just on the other side, and he knows they're here. If someone could flash him in, if he could find a way to do this, this is massive for him. Again, though, 24 seconds, they've got to go soon. Dennis is locking down drop. Olaf knows what's around the corner, he leaps and he gets them both! That is the class this man can provide, but again, it's still into this 2v2, but Dennis has a pistol and there's always still danger afoot. So 0 now, 10 seconds left, doesn't have the bomb, needs to back away and save that AWP. And Fnatic undo the first chance that Hellraisers had.
And that was pretty much all of Meister at that point. Pretty much the B bomb site was lost unless all of Meister took those kills, and now it's going to be time running out. He probably heard either the scope or may have seen something on the radar in the smoke, something along those lines, so he knew there was someone in that corner. Here we go, the bunny hop comes in, and he gets the headshot on the first guy, and Stiko also totally surprised by that. Goes down as well, and that's very frustrating, especially when you're 8-0 down and then you lose a round like that where there was a definite opportunity to win one. And then a flying olofmeister comes in and ruins it all.
And I love the theory behind it as well, that if there's someone holding with the scope, if you jump around the corner, sure, you're probably not going to be as accurate as you'd like to be, but you more than likely at worst will get tagged by the scope. You get a leg shot coming through. You'd assume maybe Stiko could have possibly traded that if he was a little bit more switched on there, but wasn't the case.
No, I mean, you don't expect that.
it.
Yeah.
Why is he doing this to us? Let us have a round. 9-0, Hellraisers still at least able to buy, you know, that's, I guess, the silver lining here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, now they get AKs, they have the AWP as well. They've lost 9 in a row. And it's just the way it is. Twist with the aggressive angle. He has his teammate just watching middle, but as we can see in the minimap, a lot of the emphasis again towards the B bomb site. So Hellraisers maybe going for the same strat as they felt like they had the opportunity. That's going to be bonding this summer on getting that first kill.
Yeah, Let Crow did get a little baited in there by olofmeister to be able to take those shots, but they still checked for it. So nice work from Hellraisers not to fall for these little kind of quirky plays. And Dennis, desperate for that frag. He can't find it, though. That's going to allow Smite to back away, and it looks like they want to exploit A now. They've pulled him over towards B. They've got drop presence. That's going to make them rotate tricky now for those remaining Fnatic players over by B. Olaf's got a good idea what's happening, though. He's already on the flank around the back. He spotted out another. So now Wenton's got free passage. He's making a run for it. You can see Dennis waiting for Zero and Bondic to try and make the play through connector. Wenton too aware. He knows what's coming. He knows what the play is. And he's going to not find the second, actually. Bondic's going to make a fight, and Twist knows what's coming now. 20 seconds, spots the shadow coming out of the smoke. He has the angle, and now it's Smike again, left in a bad situation, 1v2. He's got good ground here. He can maybe take the 1-to-1, but with 10 seconds left, the clock's so low, and I don't know if he can find this, and I think he's run out of time.
It definitely has. But does get the no-scope, though, and now it's a one-on-one, but no time to plan anymore. All of needs to do is just wait for the time to run out. I think he's going to actually initiate his, but Smike gets that kill. He's going to survive. He's going to have that off for the following round. Obviously, he's not going to get any money as the time did run out, but, well, that op could be worth gold at this point. And again, a round just going away from Hellraisers. They had the chances once again, but it felt to me like they should have just left one in drop and sent a third guy towards mid and have that punch come through middle, a side hole, and then the connector guy just be the flank. Instead, they kind of got into this 2-and-2 situation where connector guys seem to be the ones to initiate. Didn't work out too well.
Smike?
Yeah, don't burn yourself, dude.
Smike? Tricky enough as it is, man. Don't do this.
It's like life is hard.
Everyone's like in chat right now is just waiting for, like, they've just typed out 1 and G and they're waiting to press it. Just like, please do it. please, no. All right, he backs away a little. It's a bad situation. I'm surprised he's going to stick on the AWP and doesn't drop it out to someone else, just because, sure, you can still do work with the AWP, to be fair. If there's any weapon you want to be on low HP, it is the AWP. You can still make that power and presence happen on the map, but at the moment, Hellraisers is just running into a brick wall, and that brick wall just shot back. Wenton's going to find Smike, and already, early advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that they're not really putting themselves in many favorable situations even Panther last night, where they were in situations they could have won a lot of rounds, but so far Hellraisers haven't really shown a lot we can, think as promise for the second map.
Exactly. This is the map that you'd think if there was going to be, a bit of a competitive game, it'd happen here, not Cash, really. Not the case. We're seeing the Fnatic do look pretty well versed in this so far. Not particularly challenged though. Twist maybe expecting Wenton to have that, not too sure who was holding what angle, but that was a little bit of a miscommunication, just be out there all alone, and finally they break in.
Should have the opportunity here with Benson. He's trying to stop it, but only going to manage some damage. And now it's all up to Lekro, the Max 7. Responding behind that rock. It's going to be a game of chicken here, is it? No, he actually does go into connector. He's going to try to be sneaky, but he has one behind him. That's going to be Stico, and that's going to be the first round in round number 11 for Hellraisers.
Now it's all Stico as well. 4 kills for him there. The initial opener, pushing towards the site. Finally, we saw that punch.
Slight
error.
I would say that was a slight, I don't know, like the focus wasn't maybe there for Fnatic at the points. I mean, Twist being on top of that little roof. It gets picked off from middle. Oh, you were not covering middle? Oh, I thought you were. Kind of a situation. Then Olaf Meister just running at a connector, trying to be the hero of the day. Goes down, has to
save it, guys.
Yeah, the 2 guys phasing him right away. No flashes coming over or anything for him to, take that peek in a legitimate way. But, it is the way it is. Now, obviously, there's the, well, Hellraisers did have, I think, 3 alive in that round? I believe it was. No, 4. So they have a little bit of a cushion here, even if they would lose this one. But to be honest, they do need to win this one out.
And look at the difference now from Fnatic. 3 players towards the A side, and it's Olaf, the bit of a beast there holding towards middle, just at the back by door, and then 2 pushed up on long. So they can still fall back from this. I don't know if they expect it. You can see Smike having to peek into this one. Wenton had the angle, but Smike hit the shot. Angel follows up towards Olaf, and now Twist is in that horrible predicament. There's players at long he doesn't know about, but he spots the bomb, he takes it down. Angel falls, and now it's down to a 2v2. Twist, if he can cause more problems, this is phenomenal. He even spots out Smike, but he can't do much with it. Nade comes out. That could have finished off Smike. It doesn't. Now Zero should be able to play this correct. What? What are you doing, Zero? How can he be allowed to do this? They knew where he was. He smokes out by cannons, and he's got to expect where this play's coming from. He even might have spotted out Smike then, I'm not sure. But he's got the bomb, and now he's got a bloody good angle to lock this down with as well. Smike's got to hit the shot. He doesn't. And sure, good play from Twist, but that was allowed to happen by Hellraisers.
Very awkward what Zero was doing there on the bomb side, if I'm honest. I'm not really sure what... I mean, he faked the plan here, but then he thinks of planning again.
Did he?
Not really
I don't
sure.
know if he had utility then. He was trying to go for a pop flash. I don't know. I didn't actually see, but
yeah,
whatever it was, not great.
It's that was very interesting. Now that's going to be Hellraisers now with the parcel buy. AK for Angel, Technons and the Eagles in play too, but only one smoke and Twist. Taking an aggressive angle and has to pay a price for it. Angel takes the kill. Now, I might actually leave that off into the hands of Hellraisers, but Olafmeister does get the trade kill towards the B-bomb site.
And he's so... I hate to just constantly sing someone's praises. It feels boring to do it, but Olaf has been consistent at providing those trade kills. Wenton goes in and feeds to the machine. Hellraisers make the most of it. Not going to be able to pull that one off. Now, the problem is that Lekro can hold drop with that Mag 7, but as soon as you have to play retake anywhere, it becomes a huge issue. And he's going to feel the pressure of that. Olaf still stays alive somehow here. Doesn't get punished by Zero. The bomb's still pretty far back. So Lekro's actually put himself on the bomb site. That's a pretty decent spot. I'm not sure why he's on top of it, but all right. Maybe looking for info. I don't know if this is the best time to be doing so, but again, got to be kind of careful. Find a position he can work from. Try and make the most of the situation he's left. And he's spotted out the arm of Bondic. He can't make any more of that, however. Leaving it to Olaf in the 1v3, and it's just a little bit too much.
Well, that was Fnatic just giving away kills 1 by 1, really. And then when Twist died, there was a second and third guy for Fnatic going to middle, trying to kind of, minimize the damage that was done by Twist dying. But they did not manage to do that. Just the 2 angles that Hellraisers had there, 2 on the stairs and 1 in mid doors. They managed to trade the kills effectively, leaving just Lekro and Olaf in a tough 2-on-4 situation, out of position as well.
Well, it does mean, I guess, there should be another on the board for Hellraisers. Again, they've broken the back of Fnatic now. Their bank's in a little bit of a dire state. However, being so late into this game, you've got to feel Fnatic have done the job. Oh my word, I don't know if Twist saw Angel then as well. I think he might have. Because they were both kind of looking towards danger. Again, that bomb's not committed anywhere. That's the next big fact here, is this. It looks like another A split possibly, but if they get picks elsewhere, they could work wherever they want here.
This is definitely a default, but that's a nice shot from Smike. That's going to make things a lot easier for Hellraisers now. It does seem like they are making their way towards at least those B holes. And Angel is going to be the distraction man here. Just spotting middle, trying to see if there's any movement. But what you want to do in these situations usually is you want to have that one guy create some distraction. Make sure there's presence on the other side of the map. Even though if you have 4, gather around for a strat, a set piece towards a bomb site. Make sure you're making sounds on the other one. And here comes, I think they're taking over drop now.
Yeah, Letcrow's pretty close by. Winton not far, and Olaf still on platform. So, they're leaving it quite late. This is the problem. There's 30 seconds left now. They have no mollies. They have a couple of smokes and a couple of pieces. Good work from Smike. Smike is being the swing factor in this, but Wenton's still alive, and Wenton's done what he can. Finding 2 in drop is big. That's brought it back to being possibly a dangerous round, but the bomb should be able to be planted here. I don't think there's anything to be able to stop that, even if Wenton is that close by. He doesn't want to take that fight on it just yet. The smoke goes down. He tried, and Wenton finds Sticko. This is unreal. It's down to a 2v2. Dennis doesn't have a gun, but he's got a pistol, so I guess there's still something, especially in that man's hands. Smike finds Wenton and puts it all down to Dennis. 1v2, bomb is planted, and he can't do it. Hellraisers close it out. Well enough there. It got a bit dangerous, but they got the round.
Yeah, and that was off of Smike getting 2 kills through smokes.
That's true.
So, create a 5-on-3 before they commit it. That's what's going to make things a lot easier. So we have oh, there we go. That's the first one, and then the second one was towards B bomb site. There was a guy from the CDs on the plat. Now, that force buy and losing it means that Fnatic is going to have to, unfortunately, this last one as well. Credit pistols, some utility, no defuse kits for them.
Well, we saw how close it was before. Just don't play behind smoke. Just, you know, it'll be fine.
Avoid spokes.
Yeah, at all costs. Olaf's going looking. Shouldn't be able to land that. Sticko's a little nervous. I don't blame him. I'd back away too.
Jumping
he is
Eagles.
all alone. Yeah, the thing is, he is on his own. You don't want to give up that rifle to someone like Olaf or Lekra or any of the Fnatic guys. So you don't want to give that away, as Hellraisers are making their play towards A. But Dennis pop flashes himself through. It's perfect. He spots out all 3, focuses on the bomb, gets that down. But Angel will trade it out. But now Twist and Wenton have to find that way back into this. Can they make some more presence happen? They can't recover that rifle, of course.
If only he had another pistol, I think he would have gotten at least 2 kills there.
Yeah.
That's
The
easy
Deagle's
or
not
a
the one
5-7.
in
No.
that situation,
Oh, definitely
sadly.
not. So that was kind of a lucky break for Hellraisers, just losing 1 man, and now it's a 4-on-4 situation. Here comes the push towards B. All of this is going to be under a lot of pressure. Goes down by Sticko, and that's going to be the whole bomb side open.
These flashes are working incredibly well. They're giving opportunities, and opportunity aplenty, starting to work out well, but it's not quite well enough. Wenton went all his way around to find this rifle. He took his time out to try and get this, basically. And now it's the 1v2. Smite's watching the angle. It doesn't matter. That's big from Wenton. It opens up, and that's a 6 shot towards Angel. Wenton just comes back in a situation that certainly winnable, certainly doable. He had the utility, but didn't even need to use it.
Yeah, that was a full-on force buy from Fnatic. They did not have a single rifle going into that one. Still, they managed to win it. Hellraisers get a very good entry towards the B-bomb site. Everything going their way, but then Venton in the end showcasing that he has a lot of individual skill.
Just these shots. Bearing in mind, Smike's position was literally holding that angle, and the follow-up was gorgeous there towards Angel. So, on the half, coming up, it's not looking too good here for Hellraisers, let's be very honest. It's looking very one-sided. But for Fnatic, this is looking quite impressive so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know these guys are very individually talented, which is all about putting it all together.
And that's it. This is what we wanted to see. Was Cbble going to be back into the pool for Fnatic? Will it pay dividends? And so far, it looks like a yes. But let's find out if it closes out as such after the break. welcome back. Hopefully you got a nice little break there to refresh yourselves. Maybe got a cup of tea, got a beer. I don't really mind. Cup of tea. But yeah, scoreline-wise, it is 12-3 at the half. So far, Fnatic have looked pretty dominant. I actually would have preferred to see them on the T side first, just to see what they could bring into this.
Yeah.
But this might be over quickly.
Exactly. That's, yeah, kind of regrettable, to be honest. I mean, it would have been great to see, like you said, Fnatic playing the T side.
Yeah.
Previously, it was so much about, especially to me, it felt like JW and Olaf were the ones that were creating, well, obviously, Olaf on that B plateau, almost legendary, the way he plays it. And also JW just towards that A bomb site, making the openings, and then they would just play off of that. So, well, I mean, obviously, if they do lose the pistol round, then we might be seeing some more of it. I think we're about to go live here, and we also have the buy from Fnatic in play here. Only one set of nades. Smoke and a flash with Lecro, everyone else with armor. So that doesn't imply that's going to be too much of a set piece. Maybe something towards that A, and just smoking off the connector.
Hopefully we get a couple of in-game sounds just to get ourselves back into this one. Hellraisers got a nice spot here with Angel. They're going to go for the challenge. It's Twist being fed to the machine. Can't follow up. Good damage. Good damage. What is? Are we live? Is this live? I assume it is. Okay. It's just no sound. All right. That's fine. No worries. Just finding out what's going on.
You know,
yeah,
computers.
Yeah, you know, the little gremlins in the background just messing with the wires. I didn't mean the production of gremlins. All right?
Okay, then.
Before I get...
Someone gave them water, is what you're saying.
Just, you know, watch the timing on it, midnight and all. Got to be careful. But let's get back into this. Fnatic going on the Glock train, pretty much. The smoke goes down towards connector, and it looks like they're going to try and play off the back of it towards A. Bondik's still in a good spot, though. He could still cause problems here, and that's certainly be one of them. Finding Wenton is going to cause a little bit of trouble. The bomb was dropped there, but Olaf picks it up. And now Hellraisers left with 2 against 3, but Fnatic are a little low here. And we're back.
Hello, Sound.
There
How
we
you
are.
doing, buddy? Well, like I said, it's a 2-on-3 situation. Bondik now. He's going to get smoked off, actually, but in the meanwhile, Zero gets a kill on the Lecro. And now he's facing Geddes as well. It's only Olaf Meister now. In a 1-on-2 situation, has to go for that kill. Doesn't get it. It's going to be Hellraisers picking up that pistol round, and we might be seeing a little bit more of that T-side from Fnatic than what we maybe thought we would after that first half.
I'm very pleased. I'm very, very pleased. I seriously want to see Fnatic on the T side now, because as you said, like their previous lineup had a lot of that opening potential, right? They could open up these rounds so well.
Not saying that these guys don't have it. No, obviously they still do.
We haven't seen it.
But
we haven't seen it yet. That's the real first glimpses at what Fnatic can bring on their T side on Cbble. So this is why it's really exciting for me. You know, we know what Hellraisers can do. These guys are good. There's no disputing it. But this is the focal point to me is what do Fnatic bring now? Who's going to be that man to create those opportunities? Again, though, looking at what Hellraisers are coming in with, a big old buy pretty much as they can in this sort of situation. Again, they're in that position where they don't have that many rounds. They need to keep buying into this one as much as possible to try and not lose anything.
And how conservative is Fnatic here? They've only upgraded some pistols, not even buying any nades, let alone armor. So they are really playing the numbers. That is, you know, something we may have not seen previously. Now we do. They are saving. And that's, you know, it's obviously when you're up so much, then actually it makes a lot of sense to just, you know, save properly. Make sure you have a lot of nades to work with.
Yep, might as well. If you know, they could probably do damage to Hellraisers, but you know, how many times do you actually win that round? Probably at this sort of level, it's debatable. It can happen, but it's nice to see Fnatic taking that sort of step back. We've got rounds to play with. We don't need to go on these, you know, consistent buys throughout this. We can just take our time a little. If we can get a bomb plant, that'd be brilliant. But Hellraisers being, you know, playing this incredibly deep, actually. Look at the position so far. Sticker all the way back by the rock. You've got Zero in Coop. No one's playing close. No one wants to give those pistols a chance.
Yeah, that's showing a lot of respect. The possibility of Fnatic having Tech 9s and push slowly, but surely Zero, though, from Chicken Coop does get the first kill onto this B hit. And now it's going to be all of Lecro trying to cause some damage. They do get a kill, but now it's all down to Venton. And the bomb plant, it's just wishful thinking as the round goes down. It's going to be 5th on the board for Hellraisers, and let's see if it's Fnatic decide to buy. They do. Straight from the get-go. 5 AKs. They have 3 smokes to play with, a bunch of flashes. No Molotovs, though. So slightly limited here, but we know they can still work with this. You'd expect them to do some kind of a default here, probably. Try to create an opening, and then use their smokes for your normal spots eventually once you get a bomb site.
And I like Hellraiser's approach, going for the 4-1 as well, leaving Smike pretty much to play on his own, just kind of having to play off that intuition almost, just, you know, knowing when he feels pressure towards danger or middle.
Yeah,
he's got Dennis on the other side, so again, it looks like Olaf Meister's doing the job that he does so well, and look at it. First kill provided so readily.
Nothing's changed, confirmed.
Still the same.
Still the same. All of
Same old.
Fnatic goes B plateau, gets the opening kill, and then the rest of the team does something afterwards. Yeah.
And it's so quick in the game. They've still got all that utility they started with, pretty much. That was just given off the back of pretty much what the CT side put down, and maybe not expecting someone to just wander through the smoke and take the opening fight. It's... I love watching it. So they've cleared out drop there, just peeking up in case there was a boost. Lekr are going to use his flash towards that. Again, any utility being played here is actually quite big. So
Yeah.
let's see what they do with it.
Well, Fnatic still do have 3 smokes thing in play. Actually 2, rather, that they can use for a B hit here. They smoke off the connector area, for example, if they wanted to. But let's see what they do. Still, they would need to create an opening here as they attack. Seems like they might be smoking off the bomb site.
Zero could be in a good spot here. Now, normally if they have mollies on the other side, you don't want to be in that position. It almost
No, yeah.
constantly gets mollied out, but he could cause problems. Let's see if that happens. Again, Fnatic running that clock pretty low here for them. 27 seconds and finally going for the hit. This can cause problems, but good trades from Twist, and that's the play. And Zero gonna make everything happen off the back of that. Twist and Olaf get caught up by it, leaving it to Dennis and Lekr. Now, Dennis was the player over by A, so he's got the long run to go, and it doesn't matter. Hellraisers stop it before it starts, and you've got to thank Zero for that one.
Yeah, great. But obviously, that flash that came in as well. Also was, I would say, the MVP of that situation.
MVP
Really,
flash.
no, really. Bonded gets one, goes down, and then there's a flash that comes in. And look at those guys.
Oh,
It's
it was a bomb flash as well.
Yeah, I
This
think it was
is-
him. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a nice flash. Totally blinded. I mean, they didn't expect anyone to be there anymore after they killed one on the stairs, obviously. And like you said, the lack of Molotov was basically the reason that he managed to be there.
All right, this is something becoming a little bit more interesting now. We've got a bit of a game on our hands.
Yeah.
They've got the pistol. They got that first gun round coming in. Okay, Hellraisers, let's see what you've got here. This is nice so far. There's still plenty of danger afoot. Meister being given just enough rope to hang himself with there. Zero waited patiently in the back lines, switching it up again, not playing close, playing further back. And Hellraisers have a bit of a good read into this so far.
Oh yeah, they do, definitely, and they're staying alive in numbers, so that's gonna make it easier for them. If they can manage to stay alive with all 5 in this round, that'd be great for their bank too. Now, like Twist and Dennis still, they're trying to make something out of this. They have the bomb now. They don't have any utility to work with, so it is going to be very hard to even start thinking about getting a bomb plan here. But they could potentially get a couple of kills.
We'll see how Angel plays this one. You can get overrun here very easily. You just got to land those shots. And Smike! Smike, what are you doing? He just backs away, and now there's the overwhelm. There's that kind of leap in. Bondic's got to be careful as well. You can get pushed up on quite quickly from those stairs. And Smike, I think timing being the fact he was worried about Long at the same time, hadn't peeked it in a while, and just as he looked away, that was when Fnatic moved in. And that is simply just timing of it all. 28 seconds though, Fnatic looking to do as much feasible damage as possible. Dennis has got an AK to hand, so this could be something a little, you know, could change the odds here a little bit. And there's the first step, but no steps to be taken beyond that.
Couple of kills. That's all they did get that, so that's something. And that means that I think a couple of guns will have to be dropped by the Hellraisers members, but you know, that's all right. And now
Look at Zero's money as well.
yeah, Fnatic though, again 5 AKs, no AWP in play. They'll rather have the equipment. All the grenades to work with. Now they do have a couple Molotovs, so see if they go for a B push. If they Molotov that spot, they would probably if they do.
Yeah. So now Hellraisers have been playing 4-1 against the buy pretty much as we've seen so far. Now Olaf previously did get the opener, bring it back down to 3. The changing factor being 0 before. Now they have utility. I'm curious to see how Fnatic read into this. Do they start reading? They've had 4 players here. Is there a Dennis can get that information that Smite's been soloing out on A? There's plenty of options. You know, Fnatic could just go for that mad old mid-rush up A, just go straight in off the back of it, and they'd happily catch him out. But so far, that play is unknown. We know it, they don't. Zero's back in that spot. Problem being, there's a little bit of fire that could cause problems here, but Sticko's pulled up as well, so this could be nice. They could trade off that. But Fnatic haven't yet committed. They've got players going towards drop, though. This is the first step into their piece of play.
Yeah, and Twist already made his way down here. He's going to try to scout out some information, see if anyone's towards those stairs on B plateau. Doesn't spot anyone. So this is going to come down to timing. We're going to be the ones to initiate. The guys on B long, or it's going to be twist and drop. This looks going to be Olaf Meister. The smokes do rain in now.
I'm a little worried that no one's really watching Lekr and Twist being able to push out here. Sticko has to be careful, and he's going to get caught in no man's land. Zero again has complete free reign. That's 2 back-to-back. No one's checking this. No one volleyed it out. And look at him just running rampage through Fnatic. Sick play again from Zero. I don't know how he's allowed to do this. Angel was there to support eventually. He actually went over towards A, came back and locked down those players from drop, but he's getting away with murder in that sort of spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they realized where he was last time around. Whoa, what's going on now? I thought that was my brain going all kinds of slow, but no, I don't think they probably realized where Zero was last time around. They decided to, they knew there was a guy on stairs, so they just walled on stairs. That might be it. I'm not sure though, but there's potential to that. And now, and it's going to be a takedown armor by here for Fnatic, and Dennis is going to be the lone guy here in mid, creating distraction while the rest of his team are actually towards this B-long. Just waiting for the right timing. A nice little spray. Steeko with the kill, but he has to reload and goes down by Benson.
I think he got caught then on the wall as well, trying to back away towards the stairs, and this allows Fnatic a chance. Previously, Hellraisers were playing deep in towards the sites, not allowing these opportunities to be given over, but they got maybe a little complacent there, maybe a little bit aggressive, maybe a little bit confident. And it's allowed a plant to come through. Fnatic now in the 1v2, how should I say, Wenton in the 1v2.
Yeah.
Not looking so likely, as now he's on 4 HP. Does get one, but can't find Angel.
Well, they couldn't make you work with full weaponry, the full-blown attack, but, you know, 4 guys just ramming into that B-bomb site and they create a one-on-one. Just how this game works sometimes. Now, I'm going to predict there's going to be some ops in play this time for... Oh, there's not going to be an op for Fnatic. I thought they would.
They have the money for it.
They did. Deciding to still go with the AKs. I mean, you know, they had some nice... I think they had some good ideas there, attacking that B-bomb site. They even created some openings, but it was all Zero from that one corner, causing all sorts of problems on 2 occasions, basically, just destroying single-handedly the whole attack. So, you know, you just gotta pay attention to all those details.
I'm wondering how Fnatic do this now, because Wenton's in a different spot. He's actually joined Dennis at the moment, so this could be a bit of a game-changing factor. If Olaf can provide an entry, brilliant. If he can't, where's the plan going to lay next? Olaf, switch on here, buddy. Zero's been absolutely dominating that platform so far. Completely unaware of what was happening. Twist getting drop control again, though, but they haven't been able to play out of this. They've been getting unfavorable trades. They haven't been making the most of it yet.
Yeah, and Hellraisers seems to be happy to just give away that drop room control. Bondic just holding the position that, well, it has made his own some time ago. And it seems like this passive approach to this area seems to be very, very good for teams. Now, the bomb, though, is making its way towards the middle, so it might be so that they're trying to just hit with 3 towards that A bomb side and leave Twist there and drop. He's going to be the flank.
Now, Fnatic have 40 seconds. A good deal to play with. Smike has to be the player here to get things going for Hellraisers if he wants to catch us out. It's all about timing again. Checking long, checking middle. Where does he go? He's alone at this one, so it is pretty much down to him. And I think Angel's getting an idea of what's happening. I think they're just kind of wondering. They're not showing, and now there's a problem. Smike's going to be burning here, trying to make a bit of a mad escape. He's got 20 HP, and there's the pressure, and there's the response. Bondic catches out Twist. They know what's happening, but Dennis just completely destroys Smike. It's a 3v2, but Fnatic will probably have the bomb plant here. I don't see that going astray at all. A quick boost around the back as well, I can imagine, and drop. That's Zero going for a bit of a run. He's got to be quick on this. Now, 3v2. Hellraisers do have kits throughout, but only 1 flash to play with. And there's Lekro and Dennis left alive.
Yeah, now Zero is making his way, and the rest of the CTs are just waiting in connector from Zero to be the one to run up from middle. And now Dennis here behind the car, having to attack from multiple angles, gets the first, make it 2 big. Does he make it 3? No, he does not. Bondic, in the end, gets the kill with 4 HP left. Has a kit, has the time. He's going to get the defuse, but that was very close from Fnatic picking that one up.
Yeah, that was obviously 4 HP difference then. Very, very close. So, let's break down what we've kind of seen in this one. That was a bit of a here, there, and everywhere around, but Fnatic finally broke through playing towards A. Finally maybe reading how these guys are approaching it, back on the big buy coming in. Hellraisers can just share the wealth out. You know, they got a little closer because these rounds are getting pretty close, but they've got enough still in the bank. And Fnatic going back to seemingly what is their default play here. Just kind of 4 players going towards B initially, you know, building up control. Dennis just toying with Angel a bit. And again, I'm wondering if they're running into a wall or just trying to work things out as a new team on Cbble, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, so far, we've seen all trying to do his old tricks a couple of times. To be able to, unable to be successful there, and then a couple of occasions just to be hit.
Wow.
Just be nullified by Zero's positioning. Him getting 2 to 3 kills on those occasions, and yeah, the A hits, they've been outnumbered. But still have had opportunities, but just not managing to close him out. Now they do have drop once again. This will give them, again, plenty of opportunities. This Bonding is playing it passively.
The thing is, they can really catch out Zero and Sticko in this sort of spot. They've got perfect line of sight towards them almost. They haven't checked for it, and now they get away. How is this happening, Fnatic? What is going on here? Hellraisers, they didn't even push up that aggressively from platform. They had control of it. They didn't go for that mad Olaf play. They just had the angles. Surely Fnatic would be looking towards that. I don't know how Fnatic can get drop control and then say, well, don't worry about platform. We'll just kind of go towards the site.
Yeah, lack of finesse there for Fnatic for sure. I mean, good idea. You get the real estate, just utilize it, pop flash, go through, try to sandwich the B-bomb site, but they're not getting a single kill as you attack. It might be a little bit of an issue. Now, we are actually looking at a 12-11 scoreline already, so HR doing a great job of equalizing the scoreline, just winning the right rounds so far.
And look at Olaf
in the fashion that they have, they're really dominating a lot of them.
This is so impressive. I've got to give credit where it's due, at least in my eyes. Sticko and Zero have been massive players, but then again, Smike and Angel holding down, you know, A pretty well. Bondic's been playing around drop as, you know, perfectly fine. He hasn't been overextended. Everyone on Hellraisers is having a great game. Now, Fnatic look like they finally want to try something out towards A. But the problem is, at this point, Angel's now pulled himself over. Those 3 players on B are handling more than well enough. He can rotate over if they take drop control. There's nothing forcing Angel to back away from this. He can happily stay here until he knows something else. However, Fnatic have a chance to pull something off now. Smike's been a little bit hit and miss. He's been doing well enough. Now has an indication there could be presence here. Let's see how he handles this one. Bit of a different start here for him. Gonna have to fall back. We'll see that kind of communication. How does he play with Angel on this one?
Yeah, Angel is in a bit of a dangerous spot right now, but I think he might be able to... I'm not sure if they can spot another tree. Is going to help him actually here. So Smike is going to be the first one in action. Here to push for side hall. Twist. He's going to try to make his way. Gets a nice kill on the Angel. But Smike for the return kill, and here comes the full-on war. Left and right kills going in the favor of Fnatic. But look at the HP on Fnatic members, though. They're very low, actually, Olaf and Twist, both. And Lekr down to 50 HP, too. So still a chance here for Hellraisers to come back into this.
Incredibly possible. Olaf Meister's 2 HP now. Wenton has to be the kind of anchor player almost for Fnatic. Stay alive, be the one of the last line almost, because he's the one with the better HP. But currently he's just a bit of a stall for Lekr to stand on. So again, have to be careful, but time's starting to run a little lower. Getting a little weary. And I think we finally saw maybe a little bit of an exploit there from Fnatic, kind of pushing towards A. Angel's position, a little bit hit and miss. It's probably a bit of a one-and-done spot.
Yeah, very risky, put it that way. I mean, you don't have an escape plan. Like, none whatsoever. So you might want to make sure you have some kind of an idea of how can you play off of each other. I guess maybe the idea was for Smike to be the bait. He gets takes the first shot. Either he gets the kill, or he baits that he's trying to attack and overwhelm him, where Angel would then step in and get some kills from behind. But then middle is going to be an issue. If there's anyone coming through middle,
flawed,
then it's going to be in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, a lot of wishful thinking in that. We finally get to see the AWP, actually. And it's Olaf Meister pick it up. So we've seen 3 different AWPers coming out from Fnatic so far. We had the double AWP on the CT side. Now Olaf actually being the man on the T side to be running this one. And I'm wondering if Fnatic go back towards maybe a slower A, play back towards B. Do they feel they can have different presence now? Olaf Meister did win that initial gun round opening towards that B site, but since then he's been outdone a little bit here. So again, this would be interesting what Fnatic do. Yeah,
well, so far it looks like pretty much the same as before. The difference being all of that off, just polling very passively. Just waiting for someone to run in, and as you can see, Zero once again in this prime position to stop some P-pushes to come in. And that's a good nade. That's going to make quite some damage. Olaf just trying to spam his way. Actually going to Molotov that spot where Zero is right now, so he's going to have to evade from there, and the bomb is making its way towards A. Lekr in connectors, so that indicates that it's potentially going to be an A push.
But this is different again, though. Angel would normally fall back at this point, but he already maybe expected this coming, and this is a huge bit of impact play, finding the 2 players, spotting out the bomb. Normally when Lekr goes towards drop, they show presence, he falls back, and he plays off it, but, you know, after showing that maybe Fnatic had success on A, they went, all right, let's play a little differently, let's switch something up here. So now Fnatic left with a deficit.
Yeah, and they're actually rotating back towards the B-bomb side. As Lekr is here in drop, he needs to be the one to make a move. He needs to get that kill right about now. But that's Molotov from Zero, well, actually 2-0. It's going to take him out, and now it is 2-3.
Now Wenton and Olaf Meister, the last 2 standing for Fnatic. Incredibly talented players, and Olaf makes something out of nothing. That's a terrifying point of this guy. Now it's a 2v2.
That is a Fnatic thing. I mean, you know, the rounds that seem like they have nothing to do with. All of a sudden, it's 2-on-2.
This is the last resurgence. I don't know what he's doing. He's out in the open. They didn't expect the counter boost through drop from Bondik. Now it's Wenton in the 1v2. He has it all to do himself. One flash, takes the fight towards Smike. No retaliation yet. Now Bondik has to try and find this. Wenton's still looking. He's desperately trying to protect that bomb as all he can. He hears Bondik running, and Wenton can't get it. He can't hit the shot, and it's Bondik to come up with it. And Hellraisers, again, just about staying alive in this. It got down to the wire in that then. You saw there could have been different troubles throughout that. Zero could have made an impact, but the molly came out. Olaf gets caught out. Back and forth we went. But now the scoreline's even closer, and the money for Fnatic isn't great.
Yeah, and it all came down to the fact that Olaf didn't obviously expect everybody to get a boost or be on a flank. He doesn't connect with this shot. He had the opportunity to take Bondik down, but did not connect. And Benton makes it a one-on-one, and Bondik wins it in the end. And now it's going to be a partial buy here for Fnatic. They have upgraded some pistols. They have 3 armors, a few grenades to work with, but they are not fully committed into this one. And money for Hellraisers is also very low, so the more kills that Fnatic can get into this one, the better. Because if they win the round after, then might screw over Hellraisers really badly.
So I'm kind of curious if we're actually seeing that Fnatic really haven't played this map out much. Because their CT side looked fine. Their T side, however, does look a little basic, let's say. So far, bit of damage comes in. Any more is an incredible benefit. Actually, I blinked and almost missed it. These fights are ridiculous. Dennis just somehow makes, again, something almost out of nothing. Individually, Fnatic are a great side, and you're seeing that consistently. There's always danger on the plate. But the problem is they're not able to get this, you know, in their normal rounds. They're not be able to do that slow entry, not be able to build off things. They don't have much A play. We haven't seen much from this, mostly that default B hit.
Yeah.
And the one round that they've gotten so far was the A play.
Not too many set plays for them. I mean, well, they tried to do a couple of short to B bomb side that were just stopped at 0, basically. That was like the thing. And especially the first round, they just didn't have a Molotov they go through in that corner. And then they kind of fell into that same trap in the round afterwards, too. And ever since, yeah, it's been mostly that's just default. And now Olaf Mustard once again trying to make his way towards the B plateau. But Sticko this time is going to be the one to nullify that attack. And now here comes the actual push. True drop.
And Sticko's all alone. Any more is incredible from him. He has no support. He does get picked up in the end. And it's Lekro to tear ahead. Wenton finds Bondik towards drop. Angel left with just the UMP. He flops the jump a bit there, but he does make it in the end. And Wenton falls, leaving it in the infamous hands of Dennis. 1v2, no plant just yet. And no plant to be seen at all. Smike closes it out, and Hellraisers coming back in with a vengeance here. Their money is low, though. They're down to about 3K on Sun. They have to spread that wealth around. Yep. But Fnatic's money's poor as well, and we have the timeout. Here it is. They say technical. I'm not sure. It might be. It might be.
Technical,
or, you know,
tactical, you know.
You know, the infamous team speak issues that come through, you know,
yeah.
my keyboard's not working. No, I don't know. Like there may be issues there, but
it feels to me,
wow.
If I'm honest, it feels to me like there's also going to be that one Hellraisers player that just stops an attack. It's been the 0, it's been Sticko, Spike a couple times, and Angel obviously in middle. So always one of the Hellraisers members just stepping up, managing to get away with 2 or even more kills in a situation where they're supposed to get max 1.
This is okay. Let's break this down to what this is, because people coming into this will maybe see something beyond what it might be. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that Fnatic have not played Cbble to the standard of what they have in other games and other maps, right? So you looked at them on the, the Dust 2s and such in that very limited map pool that we've seen so far. They look good. They look at they look like a well-rounded team. Now, Cbble's CT side was fine. It was it was okay. We saw a couple of communication issues maybe on A, but generally Fnatic style play, right?
Yeah.
Hellraisers didn't do much with it. Now you switch that over, Fnatic's T side has been all but missing. Now, is that a display of we haven't played it that much, or what's really the defining factor? Because it's still Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, they've had now 3 weeks to play together, so that is a very limited amount of time. So you can always have maps that you haven't probably had a lot of focus on, and Cobblestone CT side you can get away with when you have a lot of individual skill, people that are good at just understanding situations and reading plays, and good at receiving information from your teammates, and so being good at rotating. But on the T side, obviously, you kind of need a little bit of finesse. You're not going to have the kind of poise you had with the previous Fnatic lineup in a lot of teams, where you can just rely on individuals creating openings in the last 30 seconds and then you just run with it. Instead, you need to have set plays that need to be thought through, you know, missing out on certain Molotovs and here and there, little things that might be the defining factor. And that's exactly what it's telling me, is that since just, you know, one player on HR on multiple occasions has been able to nullify the whole attack from Fnatic, is that they are lacking the kind of finesse that you need to have.
So you've done the whole coaching thing. You've done the in-game leading thing. You've been around for a while.
Yeah,
you know, you've done about everything that can be done in esports.
Pretty
Caster,
much.
player, coach. You know, you've been there, done it. Let's look at the Fnatic's T side then, right? Because as you said, you know, small things are missing. But let's say you come in as a coach, as Jumpy has now, and he's looking at this. You know, Wenton's in-game leading. How do you build a T side? How do you come into this? If you were in their position, you know, what are the first things you look at? Is it just building, here's your default, here's your A hit, this is what you want to be doing, there's your B hit. How do you go about introducing this? Because obviously these players know how to approach a site, right? They know what the default is, but is it just literally those small pieces like always molly out this? This is your role, you know? Lekro, you're the guy who does this, right? Is it literally that?
It's practicing, and then, yeah, defaults, how you build defaults is like basically you just practice, and then as you play against different opponents, you kind of create different rules of thumb. So if certain things happen, then we could do this. If another thing happens, for example, if there's a smoke in this position, this is exactly what we do in that situation. If there's smoke in another position. So it's just basically just a constant involvement through practicing, and just like, yeah, you just gain information through practicing and playing teams, and then you implement things as you see as you go.
And as you said, a couple of weeks is not
No, it's
really enough.
it's a very short period of time. It takes a lot of time to really get everything into the back of your head.
Ooh, this is interesting though. Fnatic going into the slaughterhouse, and it's bonding at the other side of the blade. And Angel does go down though. This opens up a small window of opportunity, and I make the statement small very, very poignantly, as look at this. It's down to a 3v2, but look where the bomb is. It's left in the lion's den. It's not where you want to be. Lekro's on 5 HP, Dennis on 14. These are some of those miracle rounds you'd have to pull off, and that is very Fnatic-esque, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't be done. Not on this sort of margin.
No, definitely not. 5 and 14 HP. This should not be enough in a 2-on-3 situation. Dennis goes down. It's all down on Lekro now. It becomes a mission impossible as Tico gets the last kill, and that is going to be the map point for Hellraisers. I didn't expect to be saying that.
No, not after that first half. You know, this is what I love about, I love and hate about shuffles, because you get to see new players come in, you know, the first couple of times when they're a little bit shaky here and there, and when the teams really solidify, you get that really nice transition process. But then you also get these crazy results so far, and I'm not saying it's over, it's still Fnatic, guys. That's, never write them out. It's the infamous saying, 15-13 though is a massive margin now. So let's see what Fnatic do. Their backs to the wall now. Hellraisers with such a resurgence here. Olaf Meister.
He's going to eat that nade.
You just got to be mad at things like that. It's just like...
No, it's not being definitely not been his day trying to get on that B plateau. You know, the first time around he got the entry, but I don't think he's got a kill since.
Not particularly. Not without...
On that B plat.
Not cleanly, no. I think he might have had a possible trade with either Sticker or Zero, but then lost out eventually.
But like,
you never had that clean entry.
when he's been trying to get on that plat, trying to get that entry, he's only really been able to do that once properly, so that his team has had the advantage. Now he's lost half of his HP, and Fnatic with only just one smoke, in Molotov, and 3 flashes to play with. So it's going to come down to a lot of the firepower here. So individuals need to be the key part here, and the bomb is making its way towards mid. So that indicates that should be an A hit coming here, and the smoke going to be towards those doors in connector, just to block the rotations from the CTs.
I'm really not opposed to this. I want to see Fnatic doing this more, trying to play towards this A side of things. But again, they've got a really nice bit of map control building up through middle. Smike's now pretty much pushed back as far as he can. Wenton's done a great job. Lekro now chimes in as well. We're down to a 4v3, and Fnatic have side control finally. They need to get that after plant in place, so this is where communication kicks in.
And the fact is that Hellraisers has, well, not a lot of money. So they might think about saving this at this point, as they are 1 man down. If they would get a kill right here, right now, then, you know, it could be a possibility, but they seem to be opting to just fall back and forget about this and put all the emphasis into the last round. But Fnatic, they survive, as Fnatic would.
As Fnatic would. You know, this is the top, so, you know, exactly sort of game, right? that will go to overtime, and Fnatic will just like clean sweep.
Yeah, gets 3-0 on T side.
This is the type of game, and I'm just waiting to see if it happens. Hellraisers have sustained enough that they should be able to at least get a. I actually don't know what is their money like.
No, it's not good.
It's really
but
not
they
good.
Can they
drop?
yeah, they should be able to drop something like a UMP or a Scout and a FAMAS.
Problem is, it's the 2A players as well. So if you look at where the issues have been found, the 2 rounds that Fnatic have pretty much been able to pick up on their T side has been going towards A. So the 2 players who have to be waiting with the ones with limited amounts.
So UMP and FAMAS
Yep.
come into play. So that's plenty in CSGO.
That's fine against Fnatic on a decent buy.
CSGO, come on.
CSGO, that is true.
Anything goes.
Yeah. I do remember a certain Finn on this map, with just a Tech 9.
Whiffing 17 bullets with the
That's
M4.
it, but you hit the ones that mattered with the Tech 9, so don't you worry about it. Okay, let's see how Hellraisers approaches, because it looked like finally Fnatic have gone, well, we're not particularly getting much success at B. Let's try and show something at A. Now, last time Angel pulled up towards Danger. This was the position he was in before, and Dennis instantly checks it and loses out. Angel can't follow up with more, though. Sticko, however, found Olaf over by B. So this is still pretty favorable, to Hellraiser. They still have Smike up here. He can just deny long completely, or at least trade or get info from it. Wenton might check it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Are you going to expect him to be there after where Angel was? I don't think Wenton will actually expect that, but he kind of has his sight towards Smike, and he gets the kill. Makes the 3-on-3. Bondik has made his way to the bomb side, and Sticko here under the balcony. So I still do have a 2-man presence here on this A side.
The important player to me as well is Zero. He's the one going on the flank, so he knows what's coming his way. Sticko and Bondik just need to do damage, slow them down, buy time. That's not how you do it. Wenton finds Sticko, and now it's a 2v3. Fnatic doing just Fnatic things here. There's the nade, but that's it. It's left now in a 1v2. Zero up against Lekro and Twist. Are Fnatic going to take this even further? It looks like this could be so viable. Twist holding the cross. Lekro just going to try and play into this. They don't know where he's coming from yet. They don't have that idea. They're just going to play off whatever info they can find. Do a fake flash out towards long. Zero does have a kid at least. But Lekro's still in a really good spot to spot this out. Time's ticking. He needs to make the move fast. He's cleared out roughly where they are. He's got to be down to this crossfire, and it's going to be Twist to win it. Of course, Fnatic do it in this sort of fashion. Overtime.
Why not? A man down again, even in the last round, and still managed to do it. And they forced to overtime after really having much of a T-side at all.
All right, let's talk this through then. You're Fnatic and your Hellraisers. Let's take it from Fnatic's point of view first and foremostly. The only rounds you won on your T side were going towards A.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Got pretty close on occasion. Do you keep trying to exploit that, or do you make the assumption that Hellraisers will now play it maybe a little bit differently? They'll switch something up. They'll have a good buy come into this. They won't be on those UMPs. They'll have those AWPs. How do you now approach this?
It's always going to be it's always going to be flipping a coin kind of a thing.
Yep.
But I would just work on that A. I would just keep going there. I mean, if you can isolate Angel, Smike, keep getting those individual skills, then it's all good. Even if you trade into a 4-4, then still you have the opportunity to either fall back towards B, and you'll have the advantage on the T side with the 4-4 situation, or you can just plow in that A bomb side afterwards. So
now
I think just work on it.
Switch to the other side of things, and if you're Hellraisers, you've
be the instigator. You do, especially on that A bomb side.
Yep.
Use that op and Smike. Just go on the side hall, try to get that, force that first pick, make it a 5-on-4 quickly, because I can feel that A bomb side is going to be the one under a lot of attack here on this overtime.
I am curious. I really am quite excited to see this, because I haven't seen. This is the thing that I was looking forward to, right? Is that when you see a player or players, should I say, Dennis and Olaf, who've been at the very tip top of the scene, they've won what you can win. You know what I mean? Or at least between them, they've had incredibly high success. And you put them back down to the position of having to work for things. And I know that sounds a negative, but it's not. It's when you see someone with great potential having to work again, get that real kind of fire burning. I want to see what they come up with, because Olaf's been stopped. He got absolutely denied at B. It's like, how much more can he bring out here? Do we get to see that classic Olaf having to dig even deeper to come up with ideas? It is a team effort, though.
It's a feel thing. Playing those kind of positions that he does, it's a lot about feel. I mean, it can go horribly wrong as well. Even in this game, it might not be working, but the next game he plays, he might be doing it flawlessly once again. He gets all the timings perfectly. He keeps getting the entry kills, this and that. So again, sample size is still very small here. It's the first time we see them play Cobblestone. So it's the kind of things that happen.
Yeah, I'm wondering now. This is what I love lineup shuffles because of this. Purely because of this. And I know purists out there will probably hate it because you're seeing Fnatic not playing this beautiful T side, which is fine, you know, I see both sides of the coin on that aspect, but watching things being rebuilt and what can be built from them is always incredibly exciting.
Yeah, the players, I mean, obviously, well, they're not going to be happy having to rebuild everything to an extent, but at the same time, they all love a challenge, and this is definitely, you know, something new. They're going to be really motivated, super motivated once again. Obviously, they're not probably weren't unmotivated, but you know, it's a different kind of a thing when you have a new lineup going on. So you just get that extra few percentage into it. A lot to work with. Obviously, there's the chemistry, what Twist has played before with Olof and Dennis, but bringing in Lekro and Vincent, and then Jumpy obviously being the coach of the team. There's a lot of new dynamics there. Some old, some new.
Yeah, it's all got to kind of, I guess, just meld into one. You've got to bring it all together when it matters. So we are going back into this. It's 15-50 and we're in overtime. Fnatic had a disastrous T side, just about clawed it back with those A hits coming through. However, a fresh start here, full buys for both sides. Fnatic opting to not go near the AWP on the first time of things. However, Smite going to go on to that. So again, let's see what we see into this one. It's not the 4-1 that Hellraisers started with. They're certainly having to play some dividends there towards what Fnatic have been doing and playing a little bit differently.
Well, it seems to be quite aggressive here on the A side from Hellraisers right now. And Lekro is expecting that. He's just waiting for anyone potentially peeking from the side hall. But Smike is actually at the stairs just watching mid. Well, he might be spotting some legs here. He might be seeing a shoe actually very soon. He does. He could leg shot if he wanted to. Decides not to. And he's just gonna, I think he just shot through the corner there and not gonna get anything out of it. Only that damage he dealt to Vincent, but no kills whatsoever. Angel, though, gets the trade. Tries to evade.
And Bondik's still in such a good position, though. He's playing on the edge of the smoke in middle. I know it's kind of tough to see it, but he's that player just on the verge of it. But Fnatic haven't fully committed here. They didn't go all the way up long. They can back away, and I think Bondik's going to hear this. He's definitely going to hear it from that spot. So Zero is still in that position. Sticko's pulling himself back up here as well to be able to just bound off the back of him. Drop is completely vacated. That's the issue. That's where they can exploit it. Now the molly comes in, and Zero has to leave that spot. He can't play there much longer. And it's gonna give away the game, though. And look at them lining up. There's 3 players in drop, and Sticko's got a great angle, but it's Zero to find it as well. And again, that shutdown comes into play, leaving Olofmeister in the 1v3. He's full of crazier things, and he's gonna go for it again here, but it's not gonna go all the way. Zero is the hero of this round, and you said it before. It's always one member of Hellraisers to stop it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Fnatic has found a way how to come out of drop either. I mean, they'd be mown down every single time they tried to come out of it. It's always, again, just one player just destroying that whole attack a lot of time. This time around, they molotov the corner that Zero usually is at, but that wasn't even the issue. It was Tico around the rock that did all the damage. And, well, the beginning of the round, it did become a 4-on-4. That is an advantage for the T side. Fnatic decides to plow towards the B bomb side. They throw a lot of nades there and then go have 3 go drop. Just doesn't work out. It was Tico, Zero, to save the day.
Olofmeister with just the frustration wiggle of mouse. It's just like, I'm 50 HP again. I've gone nowhere. But it's that 4-man play going through towards A. You can see, though, the difference here. Look at the amount of players coming from Hellraisers. They've run it like a book. Fnatic being readable. It's confusing. It's terrifying. And Dennis left in danger, surrounded by players. He's got Olofmeister swinging around as fast as he can to provide some form of support, because Dennis can't escape until he has someone there.
It also has to be said that there's a great body system from Hellraisers, just playing off with each other. When Angel had the fight going on, he had a teammate come in through middle. They sort of have a crossfire. You know, the attention cannot be on just one CT member, and as we can see on the board right now, it is going to be a 4-on-2 situation. So that's a definite advantage here for Hellraisers. And Fnatic really struggling here.
Why is Olofmeister trying to catch it? Yeah, he's trying to see if anyone's tried to play around the back already, after they showed so much presence at A. Zero's not done it, though, because they didn't see the final commitment. They didn't see anyone playing up long, so Dennis is just hunkering down. If Olof can split through drop, that could have been good. But he's going all the way around to B. He's playing a very long con here. 25 seconds isn't long for Dennis to come all the way around those halls towards that B site. This takes time, and Bondik, he's got an inkling of what might be happening here. Dennis has to make a run for it. Bondik might have heard this. I'm not sure if he was just out of range, but these two decide the B is where they want to take the fight, and one by one they go, and one by one they fall. Olaf had to trailblaze the way, and Dennis left with no time is met by Zero, and it seems to be carrying on where it left off. Hellraisers with the dominant CT side. Fnatic looking a little weary on this T side, and they're running out of money now. This is the point. They're down to having those slightly more limited buys with a slightly more limited utility. And again, for the CT side, though, it's gorgeous for them. They have everything they need.
Exactly. They have the double ops and a Smike on Stico, both on the ops. And they could, well, they have a Zeus also on Stico.
Why not, you know? Add another gun. You get 3 now.
Olofmeister back to the grind. He's going to try to get on towards that B plat. Slows down. Just waiting for CT to potentially try to be the aggressor here.
And look at that, the fear of a position, he has to check that corner now. Because of every single time this has happened. Stico's actually watching the angle where you can peek through towards it. Nice play from Olaf to kind of try and negate that, but the great timing on the flash. I don't know if that was a team flash actually that caught him in the end, but Lekro finally comes in through drop. Finally that drop play works out. They've been working on that for so long, they hadn't perfected it. But this time the timing was right. They played off Olaf going down. They traded back into it. But Smike fancies his odds. He goes in a little early here. Maybe ahead of the curve, maybe to catch out Dennis. We'll find out soon. Dennis could be sitting on the side, buying time. Just waiting for the play into it. Wendon should be holding the cross, and Lekro holding the cross towards sight. So several layers they have to dissemble here, and they're not going to be able to do too much on that. Already Wendon finding Angel, means Smike's left in the 1v2. Shouldn't be too winnable here. He's going to have to fight incredibly hard. And Wendon can just play the time, play the positions, and they work it out.
Finally, they managed to attack from 2 different angles at the same time to make it uncomfortable to CTs, for them not be able to get the refrags, the CTs. So now Fnatic finally, with the P-push that works, just like you said, in the correct fashion, and that's going to bring them that one round and the opportunity to actually win this overtime. So, but still, Hellraisers chose 2 on CT side. But they only got 3 in regulation, so this could still be problematic for Hellraisers.
For Hellraisers, they've got to be pumped up from this result, right? That's the thing. If you look at this, for me, it'd be Fnatic has everything to lose out of this. They're the guys with the reputation, blah, blah, blah. You know, if there's pressure, it'd be on them. For Hellraisers, this is good so far. A win's what you want at the end of the day, being very, very honest
that's
about
what
it.
Matters.
But individually in their minds, we're up on Fnatic in overtime. We've got to be able to grind this out. Our T-side has to be more than this, right? They started to find a little bit of a couple of communication issues being exploited on towards A. You know, a couple of players being caught out here or there. So again, that could be a factor, but that was a while ago now. So Hellraisers have to go all the way back in their minds and kind of remember what was working, what wasn't. And Fnatic have to fully reset here. They have to go back through those motions. They were playing with double AWPs, which can be, I wouldn't say risky in overtime, but it can cost you.
Definitely now they are going for the double ops right away. Knowing that they have to get a clean 3-0 here to win it. So they are definitely investing in this first fund. There's going to be an op on Smike as well, so we might be seeing some op on op action.
That's what we need. All right, 16-17. Hellraisers currently leading. Smike looking for an entry, looking for anyone to push up towards that platform. Fnatic were playing pretty well off each other there on that B site, playing quite deep towards it. Lekro having a good performance as well, playing slightly unorthodox weapons in regular time, but now falling back towards what they need here. This is the fact. It can't just be a quirk. It can't be a one and done. It has to be more. They have to get that clean slate. And this is what we saw before. Angel trying to sell that this is an A, going through the motions, smoke out, molly out, flash out, just going through it all. But it creates opportunities. So Angel slowly working up. Already got a little bit of presence gained, but Wendon and Twist aren't backing away from this.
No, definitely not. It hasn't really cost anything on the CTs. They're just waiting, really. Angel trying to sell it as the rest of his team just waiting for the right time to take over drop. 55 on the clock as well. Time is dwindling down, but they have the access right about now to drop. So it seems like it's going to be a B split coming in. Smike with that up. He's going to try to create an opening here, but Lekro does spot him in time to nullify that attempt.
But good pressure from Stigo to find Olofmeister. Again, they needed that kind of pressure from drop, pressure from platform. Keep Fnatic watching both angles. Dennis, though, excels already, finding Bondic. Wendon now can come in and play the cross very nicely. However, it's still a 3v2. This is still a bit tricky here. Hellraisers can cause some problems. But Dennis is such an issue on this.
That's exactly the massive issue right now. He does get tacked out a little bit through the smoke, but Twist with another kill, so it's all down on Stico now. 14 seconds on the clock, too. Should be close to impossible. Might be able to get Lekro here, but the timing is not his friend. Turns away as Lekro's coming in. And that's going to be the first round of the second half, and it's overtime going away from Fnatic. Now they need 2 more to win this one.
Now, for Hellraisers, it looked pretty good then, but I think you said it just as it kind of came through, that Dennis was the issue. And just to explain to people why a player in Coop is such a problem, do you mind just going through that, just in case someone who's watching, they don't quite understand why that's such an issue?
Well, first of all, he can obviously be on the side all the time. What's going on? We have a pause here going on. Yeah, basically what it means is that, you know, you always have to be wary of that position when you basically want to have your focus towards the bomb side, or be it towards the drop zone. And those are usually what you isolate with smokes. So you want to make sure that you've either smoked it off, or you Molotov it. If you Molotov it, then obviously you will clear it. There's not going to be anyone in there. They were not sure. They may have spotted him because they were trying to spam it, but not sure if they were. So basically, he's going to be in a very awkward position for the T's to try and get the bomb plant, because then you're going to get easily sandwiched.
So, Dennis keeping that one in good check just by sheer positioning. Technical pause coming out here. Not tactical, don't worry.
Sometimes staying alive, even if you don't get a kill,
It is just the matter of presence.
can be such a huge thing. I mean, for example, Cash B bomb site, which is a very hard retake when you play in the bomb site.
Yep.
Stay alive as long as possible can be just a thing of beauty in terms of helping your teammates come in and rescue the round. Okay, this is freaking me out. Didn't want to see Matthew now.
That's all I've ever wanted, just the slow fade of Matt's face. It was like, you know, did you ever watch the Teletubbies as a kid? Or like, you know, when you were younger, there was like the face in the sun?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I just saw like emerging.
Can we get that? Can we get that? Can we get that?
That's all I've ever wanted in my life. Thank you, ESL Production, for really bringing us the memeiest content there is. But yeah, we do have... I think it was a coach. Yeah, I think the coach just had a couple of issues, so he's going to be joining back in. He'll be popping back in towards the spectator slot, so that shouldn't take too long.
No, there we go.
There we
go. Now, so Fnatic wins the first one here in the second half of the overtime. They need 2 more to win it. So 19 is the mark that we're looking at. That's what we want to have to win a map. So both teams 2 away from hitting that. And now Fnatic does still have those 2 ops. No op on Hellraisers. Full on AK-47s.
All right, where's the difference, Hellraisers? You don't want to give this up. You've got finally an opportunity to get a result against someone like Fnatic. That's massive. So Sticker's basically playing the Olaf role. He's the one kind of selling this B, trying to be that real nuisance. Now he's got 3 players basically watching this almost. If Lekro turns his attention, that's where it's put. But for now, Hellraisers as a collective are playing towards A. Wenton and Twist have to be aware of this. Hellraisers have been given a lot of control, but they have no presence towards long, and that's exactly where Twist was waiting. The orb does connect, and now suddenly the plan's known. Twist, though, getting pressured, has to back away. That's a little bit careless, possibly, but he does stay alive, smokes it out, and keeps Hellraisers at bay, buying time for that rotate. And now Olaf Mice has joined them.
This is very different from Hellraisers, actually. They've done this before, but they were a lot more cautious. Now they're just full on coming in. Sneako's gonna get that opening kill. Twist causing more damage here.
What?
Gets the no-scope of the Smike. And now it's a 4-3 situation, and Olaf Meister somehow grabs 2 kills. And just leaves Stico here alone in a 1-on-3.
That is devastating. There's no way Twist should have been able to get away with that in that sort of spot. I don't understand how he was alive so long, and no one went, guys, we should probably kill Twist at some point here.
That would
he's
be good.
no-scoping me. Can we deal with this? Anyone? No. Okay. Someone like that, again, though, that was almost like, not necessarily the Dennis position, but it kind of served the same purpose against the T side. It causes so much issue trying to play to the site.
Well, as I was saying, Hellraisers is really committed to that push this time around. They were not waiting around. They just went for it. Even they lost the first member of Twist. Angel just pop flash through a smoke, just runs up mid. You have guys coming through a side hole, just trying to plow in, but Twist somehow managed to stay alive for way too long. I just said it. Sometimes, you know, just staying alive, even if you don't get kills, can be such a huge factor, because that just stalls your opponent so much. And, well, he does get kills even with it, so that's perfect for Fnatic, and now they are the ones sitting in a pretty situation. They're 1 away from winning this, and looking at Hellraiser's equipment right now, only 1 smoke and 2 flash to work with.
Ugh, it's not what you want to be seeing, but Fnatic, what a brilliant turnaround from them. I doubt there's many other teams who can do this sort of thing after such a disastrous half, turn it around and come back strong. But it's not over yet. This still could be double overtime. This could go all the way here. But you said it already. The odds, the likelihood isn't looking good for Hellraisers. Just purely the fact they have nothing to build off here. Pure firepower alone, and
0 smokes anymore to work with either. Just 2 flashes.
3 players through drop, 2 towards long. But the problem is Lekro and Winter are in fantastic crossfire positions. The shutdown comes in. The second attack that was meant to be Angel and Smite has no presence on the map. And this is your classic Fnatic again and again. No matter the scoreline, no matter the deficit, they brought it back. They took it to overtime. Well, unless Smite can do something incredible, it is done and dusted. Fnatic take it in overtime. But what a performance, and what a different side of Fnatic we saw there. Finally looking human.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say about that one then? it's one of those things where 13-15 down, they've only managed one round on T side, and then they pull it off in situations where they're 4 and 5 in both situations. They're low in equipment, everything. Only a couple of 3 to 4 AK-47s to work with, and they just pull it off. And then CT side, well, it still works great. We can take that off of that game, but the T side, still a lot of work to do.
I absolutely love that game. Just seeing the differences, teams having to work things out on the fly. I'm sure that there's actually a lot to be broken down about that T side, specifically from Fnatic, and then overtime. There's a lot to be said. So, Analysis Desk, enjoy this one.
Thank you very much, Lauren. We will do what we can with this one with the short time we have available to us. Let's start from the start. Both these teams seem to struggle on their T side.
I think it was, in the first half, I think that Fnatic just played really amazingly well individually, more than anything else. Had a couple of good reads towards the latter part of the half. We saw Lekro early on with the Mag 7 in drop, just completely ruining all Hellraisers' plans. All of Meister towards B platform with that, you know, jumping double kill onto Smike and Stiko.
CSGO.
Not much you can do, you know, when Fnatic players pull off those types of moves. But moving on to the second half, you could see that more than anything else, Fnatic was a bit, you know, unaware, unsure what to do exactly, right? They were a bit slow. They had that B execute. They tried to run a couple
Many
of times.
Yeah,
but they didn't clear platform first, and you could see Zero from the same position, 2 different gun rounds, basically mows them down by himself, as we can see on this replay.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously always off the back of a pop flash there as well, but you sneakily tweeted that maybe they could, Fnatic could check their corners a little bit more on the T side here, but that B execute overall wasn't working out too well. You also was saying that it seems like Hellraisers were giving a fair bit of control to the A side of the map here. You can see on the mini-map here, it's just that one player. Again here, obviously this is late in that round, but could Fnatic have done more over towards the A side here? I
mean, definitely. If you see that your opponents are just giving you control like that, ideally you would go for a smoke execute of sorts. I think VP has a good one they go for, right, where you would smoke off the area around the APC, and in that way they would probably neutralize Smike, who had the AWP, and get a fairly easy plant, and then they could play off of that. But I think it was pretty obvious that they just didn't know how to execute that sort of a strat, because I assume they don't practice Cbble as of yet as a map they want to integrate into their pool. They probably played it a couple of times today because they knew they were going to play it against Hellraisers. But all things considered, I do think that Fnatic should have done a better job simply improvising more, right? Realizing that, okay, we're getting figured out, there's not a lot we practice or we can do, maybe play a bit more aggressive. At one point they turned to, you know, let's send all of Meister towards B platform, you know, he'll win us the round. But Stiko was doing a great job playing close up with that gap in the smoke and so on. And in the end, it took everything Fnatic had to just take it into overtime. Do you agree with that, Matt? Do you think that Fnatic sort of started to default to the Olaf Meister carriers sort of approach? To
some extent, for sure. And I think it wasn't working as effectively. But look, let's look at this as a whole, okay? So, start of the game, it's 9-0. Hellraisers, they're struggling tremendously. It ends 12-3 at half, okay? But it's like I always say, if you don't like what you've got to change it, okay? And if the world's all messed up, you've got to rearrange it. So they look at the scoreboard, it's 12-3, okay? Right? But if you don't like what you see, you've got to fight it. And in the end, you've got to find a way to right it, okay? Nobody's going to help you, okay? Oh, bear with me here, Yanko, okay? So you've got to do this on your own. It's your own way of thinking. There's nobody to blame. And when a Fnatic, okay, this comeback's happening, it looks like their ship is sinking, and there's no one to help them at all. But in the end, you've got to dig your heels in and raise a little hell of your own. And Fnatic are troopers, and they did that.
Is this what you were doing all game?
No, no.
Just off the bat?
No, I was actually sitting watching the game as was shown by the camera.
Well, I can't lead the desk because I've got to kind of host it there as well. But hopefully you guys gleaned something from that analogy.
I can leave.
There.
I'm done.
You're done as well. Okay. All right, Pasha, peace. All right. Well, it's all hell has been raised here, I guess, on the desk. I'm going to chime in there a little bit, guys. Let's throw it to a bit of a break, and when we return, hopefully we'll find some casters for this desk, guys. Won't be too far away.